The afternoon the rescuer first saw him, it was a moment that would be impossible to forget. His condition was shocking. His skin was raw and inflamed, covered in painful red patches where his beautiful fur should have been. What little fur remained on his body was patchy, brittle, and falling off in clumps every time he moved. His legs were incredibly thin, looking almost too delicate to hold his weight up. But the most striking thing was his eyes. Even though they were half-closed in total exhaustion, they held a quiet plea. It was a look that said, "Please help me," and it was one the rescuer couldn't ignore. They decided to name him Paloma. At first, Paloma was terrified. He flinched when the rescuer approached him. His world had taught him only fear, hunger, and the constant sting of his open wounds. The rescuer wrapped him carefully in a soft blanket and took him home. The vet's face was gentle but serious when she first examined him. She confirmed that his skin was badly infected and covered with sores that must have burned every time he walked. Severe mange had taken over his body, and malnutrition clung to him like a shadow. They began treatment immediately. This included antibiotics to fight the deep infection and medicated baths to soothe his angry skin. He also needed supplements to strengthen his frail body. Each day became a routine, a ritual of care. He was very weak, sometimes too weak even to stand up on his own, but he never stopped trying. The rescuer would sit beside him for hours, stroking the few spots where fur still clung, whispering to him that he was safe now. Healing is never quick or easy. There were nights when he trembled in pain and mornings when progress seemed invisible. But every tiny step forward mattered. Food became one of the most important parts of Paloma's healing, both for his body and his heart. In the beginning, his meals were gentle and nourishing. He ate warm broth and soft-boiled chicken shredded into thin strips. The rescuer added drops of vitamins and omega oils to help his skin repair itself. After the first week, something amazing changed. When he heard the sound of kibble mixing with the broth, his ears perked up for the first time. The rescuer introduced higher protein foods gradually, and his body responded like a flower drinking rain. Weeks passed, and the transformation was incredible. His eyes grew brighter and more alert. The painful red patches began to heal and fade. New fur, soft like fresh hope, started sprouting across his once bare skin. He learned to trust hands instead of fearing them. Paloma healed in ways medicine alone couldn't touch. He learned to love again. Every time he wagged his tail when the rescuer entered the room, and every time he fell asleep knowing he was safe, it was a victory. Today, Paloma is a reminder that love and patience can rebuild even the most broken soul. Sadly, Paloma wasn't the only one who needed help. The rescue team was notified about another little one living on the street, alone and abandoned in terrible conditions. They were told that his dog dad went to jail, and since then, the poor dog had been left completely abandoned. He was left with matted fur, hungry, cold, and with no one to care for him. When the team found him, his name was Richie. His fur, what little of it remained, was tangled and matted into painful knots. Mange had taken so much from him, his coat, his comfort, and maybe even a bit of his hope. His ribs showed with every shaky breath he took, and when the cold wind blew, he trembled violently. The team carried him to the truck gently, terrified of hurting him more than the world already had. He was hospitalized immediately to receive everything he needed to pull through. The moment they set him on the examination table, they could see just how much suffering his tiny body carried. His fur was matted into dense, hardened clumps that pulled at his skin like ropes, hiding painful wounds underneath. His skin was raw, inflamed, and patchy from the mange. Every bone along his back and ribs stood out. Despite how exhausted he looked, his eyes still followed the doctors, watching and waiting to see what they would do. Most importantly, he got gentle handling and time to rest, because his body needed peace as much as it needed medicine. After just a week, his skin has improved significantly. The journey is still long, but the team will never give up on him. Both Paloma and Richie prove that with a little help, life can get better. If these rescue stories touched your heart, Please give this video a like.